Let me ask you something. How often do you find yourself holding back? Like holding yourself back? I mean, maybe it's fear of failure, fear of judgment, or just not being ready. But what if holding back is exactly the thing that's keeping you stuck? And we've all done this, right? We felt the spark of an idea, that pull to try something new or revisit something we cherish from our past, or that quiet nudge to step out of our comfort zone. But then we stop and we hesitate. Why? Why do we do that? I'll never forget this. I went rappelling down a 25-story building one time, and I was pretty sure I was going to do it. I was going to finally face this fear of heights I'd had my entire life. And it seemed like really a pretty safe way to do it. Professionals, pro grade equipment. It's somewhere between a calculated risk and a can't lose proposition, really. But when I got up there and I realized how high I was, how hard the wind was blowing, my legs got real shaky. And I was feeling my resolve slipping away. I was like slipping away like the rope in my sweaty palms. But the part I'll never forget is how hard it was to take the first step off the top of that building. No matter how many people cheered me on, no matter how well the equipment seemed to be holding me up, no matter how many times I told myself it was all right, that I could do it, that I would do it, that first step, it was so hard to take. Now, I eventually did, and I was rewarded for it with the memory of facing that fear and walking it down. Literally. The truth is, most of us hold back not because we're incapable, but because we're afraid. We're afraid of what people might think. We're afraid of failing. Here's one really sneaky one that most people underestimate or don't even realize happens. There's a fear of success. You're afraid to succeed because deep down you think it's possible you could. And then if you do, you prove yourself wrong, that you actually can do whatever it was you were afraid to do, whatever it was you were afraid to try. And if you succeed one time, since you've now proven that you can, now you have to do it again. Now you have to keep facing whatever uncomfortable thing it was you had to do in order to accomplish that success. Not that I feel a pressing need to rappel down a high-rise anytime soon again. But look, every time you choose to shrink back, every time you choose to stay small, you reinforce the lie that you're not designed for something very particular, something specific. Here's what most people don't realize. The cost of holding back is bigger than the risk of failing. If I'd gotten up to the top of that building and not gone through with it, I'd know for the rest of my life that I backed out, that I backed away, and I'd have to live with that moment and with the person I decided to be in it. And I'd still be paying for it right now. Because when you hold back, you don't just protect yourself from disappointment, you block yourself from growth, from purpose, and from living fully in alignment with who you were made to be. So how do you stop holding back? It starts with one small, uncomfortable step forward. That idea you've been sitting on, act on it. The conversation you've been avoiding, start it. The gift you've been hiding, use it, share it. The more you lean in, the quieter that fear gets. Here's your challenge. What's one thing you've been holding back that you can take a small step toward right now, today? If you're ready to stop holding back and start moving forward, subscribe to this channel and don't miss the next video, because we're going to dig into what secretly might be blocking you from using your gifts in the first place. Stay with me.